Come on, have some more wine. My husband and I had come to a secluded rental villa for our honeymoon. Alone together, we wanted to spend time leisurely, and to celebrate, we opened a slightly expensive bottle of wine. However, after only 2 glasses, I felt unusually tipsy today, and my head started to spin. Already drunk? You're hopeless, he said. When I drank the water he offered, I suddenly felt very sleepy. Maybe I'm just tired from all the busyness lately. But when I looked at my husband, he seemed oddly amused rather than concerned. What flashed through my mind was a note handed to me by an unknown woman. It read, "Run away now. I am Emma, 27 years old, who came on a belated honeymoon half a year after our wedding. I met John, my husband, at a cooking class 3 years ago. He is 12 years older, but we clicked right away, sharing the same tastes in food. Moreover, we both had similar backgrounds, having lost our parents early. It was only natural for us to grow closer and tie the knot. Though we had our wedding, we were both so busy with work that we only recently managed to take a week off. That's why we looked for a peaceful place to stay, surrounded by nature for our honeymoon. It was a little over 3 hours' drive from our home to the villa. Feeling hungry on the way, we stopped at a restaurant for a meal. It's about 2 more hours to the rental villa from here. Since entering the restaurant, I had felt as if someone was watching me. After the meal, as I went to the restroom, a waitress slipped a small note into my hand. It was from an unknown woman, saying, "Escape unnoticed now." I wanted to ask what it meant, but the waitress had already disappeared into the back of the restaurant. I didn't get a good look at her face, so I don't know who handed it to me. I thought it might be a bad prank, but when I entered the stall and looked at the note again, there were numbers that looked like a phone number. What does this mean? Despite the excitement of our honeymoon, I started to have a bad feeling. Who was that woman? As I was compelled to search for the woman to inquire about the note, I heard my husband's voice outside. "Hey Emma, are you okay? Feeling sick?" "No, nothing. I'll be out soon, wait for me at the table." My husband called out, concerned I was taking too long, but I lied on impulse. I pocketed the note, wondering whether I should show it to him. The honeymoon I had been eagerly looking forward to was now clouded with unease. I felt I shouldn't let my husband sense my inner turmoil, so I acted brighter and more cheerful than usual as we left the restaurant. Later, we stopped at a supermarket for some groceries and drinks, and after 2 hours, we arrived at the secluded villa. After settling in, we enjoyed a leisurely stroll, and I started to forget about the note. In the evening, we decided to cook our favorite dishes. I made his favorite hamburgers, and he made potato salad. We ate, toasting with wine across the table, engaging in light-hearted conversation and savoring the happy moment. Yet, after 2 glasses of wine, my head began to feel foggy. "Emma, I bought this fancy wine you like, drink up." I might be getting a bit tipsy." "What are you talking about? You've barely had any." My husband kept urging me to drink more wine. I thought about stopping, but I didn't want to spoil the warm atmosphere seeing him in such a good mood, so I sipped little by little without refusal. But after a while, I felt even dizzier, a deep drunkenness setting in. Feeling that any more would make me sick, I let go of the wine glass. Then, my husband peered at my face, inspecting my complexion. "You're usually fine even after finishing a bottle of wine. Is it the exhaustion catching up with you?" "Maybe so. You're such a piece of work." "Well, drink this, it'll sober you up. Here." Saying that, he handed me some water and the hangover remedy supplement he usually takes. Yet, after drinking it, the dizziness didn't fade, and an overpowering sleepiness attacked me. Soon, I could barely stay seated, leaning heavily against the table. "Quite the lightweight, aren't you?" Opening my eyes to his words, my husband wasn't concerned but was instead smirking in a chilling manner. "What if you just went to sleep forever? Thanks for signing up for the life insurance." Without helping me, barely able to get up, he poured all the wine down the sink, cleaned up his dishes and glass, and left the villa. What in the world is going on? Unable to move, I heard the sound of the car engine fading into the distance. Could it be the note the waitress gave me? I realized that the runaway now written on it anticipated this situation. My husband's last words echoed in my head. Thanks for signing up for the life insurance. Just thinking about the meaning of those words made a series of terrifying thoughts surge through me. That's right, it was him who brought up getting insurance. Just a week after getting married, he strongly suggested we get life insurance together. I hesitated with a bad feeling, but he said sadly, "Life insurance is like a charm for when something happens to us." We both lost our parents, so I thought it would be good to join, to not have a hard time after losing someone again. I was convinced at the time, but could it be that he was aiming for this from the start? Somehow, I mustered the strength to crawl to the kitchen and guzzled down a bottle of unopened water. With my head clearing a little, I took out the note and pressed the call button on my cell phone. After a few rings, a woman answered the phone. I told her about receiving the note and how the wine had slurred my speech, and she responded urgently. "That's why I gave you the note, to escape immediately. You might be in danger." "What? What do you mean? Please, tell me everything you know." She revealed bit by bit that she was my husband's ex-girlfriend. Apparently, they dated about 5 years ago, and his parents died under mysterious circumstances, which scared her into trying to break up with him. But when she couldn't shake him off, she disappeared. Hearing this, I was stunned. I had been told his parents died over 10 years ago in a car accident. What does this mean? So, when we walked into that restaurant, she was shocked. And it wasn't my imagination that I felt someone watching us during the meal. Hiding in the back of the restaurant, she passed me the note when I went to the restroom, wanting to save me, feeling sure my husband was planning something for me too. "Thank you for the note, I can't thank you enough. It must have taken a lot of courage." I could hear her sobbing on the phone. "I can't forgive this." Grateful to the woman, yet feeling betrayed by the husband I trusted, I was overcome with anger. I have to punish that man, no matter what. When I asked the waitress for help, she readily agreed. At that moment, I had a plan. However, executing it might put me in even greater danger. But I couldn't let things stand as they were. I was determined to make him pay. About 2 hours later, I heard a car engine, presumably my husband returning. After the phone call, I had taken a turn for the worse and was lying on the floor. Then, I saw him enter through the door, still wearing his shoes, slowly approaching me. He crouched before me, lying limp, and gently pressed his ear to my mouth to check my breathing. "Damn, still kicking. You're a tough one. Should have made you drink more." "What do you mean by that?" I whispered faintly. With a grin, he began to speak as if bestowing a parting gift to the underworld. "I hate working, you know. So to get money quickly, I made my parents drink a lot of alcohol. And that supplement I had you drink earlier, I made that too." "What?" "I married you because you have no one else. Now, all the life insurance money will be mine. The premium was about $500 a month, so I might get around $500,000. Exciting, isn't it?" His callous words sent chills through my body. "You won't get away with this. Stop acting tough. You can't even move. I'll take all your savings too. Here, this will send you straight to the other side." He took out more of those supplements, and now it sounded like he was dissolving them in water, stirring them with a clink. Then he grabbed my hair, lifted my face, and poured the mixture into my mouth. "Stop. Come on, gulp it down. No holding back this time. This will send you off in no time." I struggled not to swallow the liquid, coughing and sputtering it out. "That's enough. Let go of her." It was the waitress who had given me the note, standing there. "What? Why is Yuka here?" After the phone call, I had arranged for her to come to the villa. My husband was shocked by the unexpected arrival. "It's a shame things didn't go your way, isn't it?" Rising from the floor, I faced my bewildered husband. "It's true the wine hit me fast, but when he handed me the supplement, something felt off, so I didn't swallow it. I knew you'd come back to check if I had passed on to the next world. Damn it. You tricked me. I won't forgive you. Might as well erase both of you from this world. Desperate, he grabbed a poker from beside the wood stove and approached us. Stop. It's no use screaming in such a deserted place. Now, which one of you shall I finish off first? As he swung the poker, mirrors and vases shattered around the room. Then, standing in front of me, trapped, he raised his arm to strike. That's when the door burst open with a loud bang, and the police came in. The ex-girlfriend had called them from the next room. It was a close call. That was too close. My husband stood frozen, arm raised. I turned off the recording on my cell phone, which had been propped on the shelf, and handed it to the police. This has the whole incident recorded. This should serve as sufficient evidence, right? Oh, and the supplement I pretended to drink, I'll hand that over as evidence too. What do you mean? After my husband abandoned me, I did call the police, but they didn't take me seriously because I was slurring my words, thinking I was just a drunk making a joke. With that in mind, and with his ex-girlfriend's cooperation, I performed a convincing act to elicit a confession from him. Honestly, I was so terrified of my husband that I thought of fleeing, but I knew that running away would only make me a target. And I believed the police would definitely come if there was evidence of a crime in progress. Look, this is just a little domestic squabble, nothing for the busy police to be bothered with. Dropping the stick he was holding to the floor with a thud, he began scratching his head. I was fed up with him thinking he could still talk his way out of this situation with all the evidence against him. Just give up. We have your own testimony and the video evidence of you trying to kill us. Emma, you're overreacting. Calling the police is too much. I'll apologize, okay? Don't be so mad. I wasn't really going to do anything to you. How can I believe you now? And it's not just about what happened today, we're going to thoroughly investigate your parents' deaths too. But, that's an old story, there's no evidence. He seemed to think that he wouldn't face a severe sentence if it was just about this incident. Then the ex-girlfriend, who had been quietly observing, spoke up. I don't know if it will be useful, but I've kept everything he told me and anything that might serve as evidence from that time. Seriously? No, no way. I refuse to throw my life away over this. Desperate not to get caught, my husband tried to flee but was quickly apprehended by the police and handcuffed before being escorted into the patrol car. This should keep him detained for a while. Watching the patrol car shrink in the distance, I let out a sigh of relief. Yuka, are you hurt? I'm fine. But it was terrifying. Had the police arrived a few minutes later, who knows what would have happened to us. I knew the risk to my own safety, but it was all to expose this man's deeds to the light of day. Thank you for having the courage to give me that note. If it weren't for you, Yuka, I don't know what would have become of me. I owe you my life. No. You believed in me, and it's because you acted without regard for your own safety that this was resolved. Anyway, I'm glad you're safe. This will clear your husband's parents' grievances too. Though I was still shaken by the fear. For a while after, we couldn't stop trembling. Soon, the truth about my husband trying to kill me and his involvement in his parents' deaths will come to light. Of course, I annulled our marriage and cancelled the expensive life insurance policy. Now, all that's left is to wait for his judgment. It was a terrifying experience, but I'm relieved that such a horrible person won't be left unpunished. Undeterred by this ordeal, I still hope to find someone to spend my life with, someone truly dependable. So, everyone, be wary of men who are eager to talk about life insurance.